In a game built on glory, there's a dark underbelly few dare to face. For every touchdown that lifted hearts, there were moments that broke them. Heroes who once ruled Sundays, undone by choices made off the field. From scandal to tragedy, from violence to betrayal, these are the stories of the NFL's fallen heroes. This isn't about the games they played. It's about the line they crossed, and how even the brightest lights in football can cast the darkest shadows off the field. Ray Rice, the punch seen around the world. For 6 seasons, running back Ray Rice was the heart of the Baltimore Ravens offense. A 3-time Pro Bowl selection, he was a human wrecking ball who rushed for over 6,000 yards and helped deliver a Super Bowl victory to the city in 2012. He wasn't just a player, he was a beloved community figure, known for his anti-bullying campaigns. But his entire legacy, every touchdown, every cheer, was erased in one horrific moment on February 15, 2014. That night, inside the Revel Casino in Atlantic City, Rice and his then-fiancée, Janae Palmer, got into a physical altercation that ended with Rice striking her inside an elevator. The first video to emerge, released by TMZ, was damning enough. It showed Rice dragging an unconscious Palmer out of the elevator. The public was shocked, but the NFL's response was even more so. Commissioner Roger Goodell issued a suspension for just 2 games, a punishment widely criticized as staggeringly insufficient. The backlash was immediate and fierce, but the real firestorm erupted on September 8th when a second video was leaked. This footage was from inside the elevator. The world watched in horror as the video showed Rice delivering a brutal left hook to Palmer's face, knocking her head against the handrail and rendering her instantly unconscious. The fallout was swift and total. Within hours, the Baltimore Ravens terminated his contract. The NFL, facing a tidal wave of public outrage, suspended him indefinitely. The league announced new baseline suspensions for domestic violence of 6 games, with a lifetime ban for a second such offense. Henry Ruggs III, a life destroyed in an instant. Henry Ruggs III was pure speed. The first wide receiver taken in the 2020 NFL Draft and the 12th overall pick for the Las Vegas Raiders, was a blur on the field and a key piece of the team's future. In just his second season, he was already demonstrating his game-breaking talent. But in the early morning hours of November 2, 2021, his promising career and a young woman's life came to a horrific end. After a night of drinking with his friends, Ruggs got behind the wheel of his Chevrolet Corvette with his fiancée in the passenger seat. Traveling at 156 miles per hour on a Las Vegas street, he slammed into the back of a Toyota RAV4. The SUV burst into flames, killing 23-year-old Tina Tinter and her dog Max. Police arrived to find a scene of utter destruction and a dazed Ruggs, whose blood alcohol level was measured at 0.16%, twice the legal limit in Nevada. The Las Vegas Raiders released Ruggs that same day while he was still in the hospital for his injuries. He was charged with felony DUI, resulting in death, and reckless driving. In May 2023, Ruggs pleaded guilty to 1 felony count of DUI, resulting in death, and 1 misdemeanor count of vehicular manslaughter. On August 9, 2023, he was sentenced to 3 to 10 years in a Nevada state prison. During his sentencing, Ruggs apologized to Tina Tinter's family, saying he hopes to counsel others about the dangers of drunk driving after his release. He has also recently expressed interest in returning to the NFL, although the league could still suspend him for his crime if he chooses to do so. He is eligible for parole in August 2026. Michael Vick, the savage secret of a superstar. Michael Vick wasn't just a quarterback, he was a phenomenon. The first overall pick in the 2001 NFL Draft, he redefined the position with a cannon for an arm and the speed of a track star. He was a human highlight reel, becoming the first quarterback in NFL history to rush for over 1,000 yards in a single season. He signed a record-breaking 10-year contract extension with the Atlanta Falcons, worth up to $130 million, and he was on top of the sports world. But behind the electrifying plays and roaring crowds, Vick was funding and participating in a horrific criminal enterprise. In April 2007, an investigation into Vick's cousin on drug charges led police to a property the quarterback owned in rural Virginia. What they found there was a scene of unspeakable cruelty, a full-scale dogfighting operation known as Bad News Kennels. For 6 years, Vick and his associates had been breeding, training, and forcing pit bulls to fight. The investigation uncovered that the dogs who didn't perform well were horrifically executed by methods like drowning, hanging, and electrocution. At first, Vic denied everything, but as his co-defendants began to cooperate with federal prosecutors, the truth became undeniable. On August 27, 2007, Michael Vick pleaded guilty to federal conspiracy charges related to the dogfighting ring. The NFL suspended him indefinitely without pay. His lucrative endorsement deals vanished, and the Falcons fought to get back millions from his contract. In December 2007, he was sentenced to 23 months in federal prison. After serving 18 months, Vick was released. His return to the NFL was one of the most polarizing topics in sports. The Philadelphia Eagles took a chance on him in 2009. In 2010, he had the best statistical season of his career, leading the Eagles to a division title and winning the NFL's Comeback Player of the Year award. Today, Michael Vick is back in the game, but this time on the sidelines. After a stint as an advisor for the AAF's Atlanta Legends, he was named the head football coach at Norfolk State University in late 2024, continuing his public life in the sport that made him a hero and then a villain. If you're enjoying this deep dive into the darker side of the NFL, hit that subscribe button and notification bell so you don't miss any future releases. Let us know in the comments below which player's downfall shocked you the most so far. Antonio Brown, the great self-destruction. For a decade, Antonio Brown was arguably the most dominant wide receiver in the NFL, a sixth-round pick by the Pittsburgh Steelers who defied all expectations. He was a four-time first-team All-Pro, known for his relentless work ethic and the ability to make impossible catches. But as he ascended to stardom, a pattern of bizarre and destructive behavior began to emerge, charting a course for one of the most unbelievable implosions in sports history. The trouble escalated after he was traded to the Raiders in 2019. He suffered frostbite on his feet from a cryotherapy mishap and engaged in a public feud with the NFL over his preferred helmet, eventually getting released before ever playing a game for them. He signed with the New England Patriots, only to be cut after one game, following allegations of sexual assault and sending intimidating text messages to his accuser. His last and most infamous on-field moment came in January 2022 as a member of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. In the middle of a game against the New York Jets, a visibly agitated Brown removed his jersey, pads, and gloves, threw them into the crowd, and jogged off the field. He was cut from the team immediately. Unlike others on this list, Brown's fall wasn't from a single crime, but several self-inflicted cuts. A string of arrests, lawsuits, unpaid debts, and erratic public behavior have defined his post-NFL life. He has been accused of domestic violence, exposed himself in a hotel pool, and had multiple arrest warrants issued for failing to pay child support. He was extradited from the United Arab Emirates in November 2025 on an attempted murder charge, his latest and most serious crime to date. Aaron Hernandez, the killer in plain sight. Aaron Hernandez was a rising star, a formidable tight end for the New England Patriots. He was part of a dynamic duo with Rob Gronkowski and signed a $40 million contract extension in 2012, just 2 months before his team would play in the Super Bowl. But while he was catching touchdowns on Sundays, Hernandez was also living a secret life imbued in violence and paranoia that would ultimately culminate in murder. On June 17, 2013, the body of Odin Lloyd, a semi-pro football player who was dating the sister of Hernandez's fiancée, was found in an industrial park near Hernandez's home, shot execution style. Investigators quickly zeroed in on Hernandez. Surveillance footage from his own home showed him holding a gun shortly after the time of the murder. Within days, the Patriots star was arrested, led from his mansion in handcuffs. The team released him less than 2 hours later. During the trial, the prosecution methodically built a case showing Hernandez was the killer, though his motive was never definitively proven. On April 15, 2015, Aaron Hernandez was found guilty of first-degree murder and sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole. In prison, the full weight of Aaron Hernandez's past began to surface, including ties to a 2012 double homicide, charges for which he was later acquitted. But just 5 days after that verdict, on April 19, 2017, the former Patriots tight end was found dead in his cell. He was 27 years old. Later, doctors at Boston University examined his brain and made a chilling discovery. Hernandez suffered from one of the most severe cases of CTE ever recorded in a young athlete. The findings painted a haunting picture. A man once celebrated for his talent, undone by violence, trauma, and tragedy that reached far beyond the field. Rae Carruth, the ultimate evil. Some falls from grace are about violence and bad judgment. Others are about something far more sinister. Rae Carruth's story isn't about a hero making a mistake. It's the story of a man who conspired to commit the ultimate act of evil just to avoid personal responsibility. Carruth was a rising talent, a first-round draft pick by the Carolina Panthers in 1997. The wide receiver made the all-rookie team and seemed destined for an amazing career. But as he was making a name for himself on the field, his off-field life was unraveling. By 1999, he was dating a real estate agent named Sharika Adams, who became pregnant with his child. Prosecutors would later argue that Carruth, already paying child support for another child, did not want this baby. On the night of November 16, 1999, Carruth and Adams were driving in separate cars after seeing a movie. On a dark road in Charlotte, North Carolina, Carruth slowed his car in front of Adams. Another car pulled up alongside her, and a gunman hired by Carruth, Van Brett Watkins, fired 4 shots into her vehicle. Sharika Adams was gravely wounded, but in her final moments of consciousness, she made a desperate 911 call. In it, she implicated Carruth, stating he had blocked her car, allowing the shooting to happen. She fell into a coma and died less than a month later. Doctors managed to deliver the child via an emergency C-section. The baby survived, but was left with permanent brain damage and cerebral palsy from the trauma. The motive was chillingly simple. Carruth had orchestrated a murder-for-hire plot to avoid paying child support. After Adams died, Carruth fled and was later found by federal authorities hiding in the trunk of a car in Tennessee. At his trial in 2001, Carruth was acquitted of first-degree murder, sparing him a potential death sentence. However, he was found guilty of conspiracy to commit murder, shooting into an occupied vehicle, and using an instrument to destroy an unborn child. He was sentenced to 18 to 24 years in prison. Rae Carruth was released from prison on October 22, 2018, after serving nearly 19 years. O.J. Simpson, the trial of the century. Before he was a defendant, Orenthal James Simpson was an American icon. The Juice was a Heisman Trophy winner, a record-breaking NFL running back, a movie star, and a beloved television personality. He was one of the most famous and charismatic figures in the country, but his heroic image would be forever destroyed by 2 brutal murders on a summer night in Los Angeles. On the night of June 12, 1994, Simpson's ex-wife, Nicole Brown Simpson, and a waiter named Ron Goldman were found viciously stabbed to death outside her condominium. Simpson quickly became the prime suspect. The events that followed captivated the world. Instead of surrendering, on June 17th, Simpson led police on a low-speed chase in a white Ford Bronco, a bizarre spectacle watched live by an estimated 95 million people. The subsequent criminal trial was a media circus dubbed the Trial of the Century. The prosecution presented a mountain of evidence, including a history of domestic violence, blood drops, and a single blood-soaked glove found at the scene, with the match found outside Simpson's residence. But Simpson's high-powered dream team of lawyers poked holes in the investigation, alleging police misconduct and racial bias. On October 3, 1995, the jury returned a verdict that stunned everyone: not guilty. Though acquitted of murder, a civil court later found Simpson liable for the wrongful deaths of both victims and ordered him to pay $33.5 million to their families. His life as a celebrated hero was over, but his life as a villain was not. In 2007, Simpson led a group of men into a Las Vegas hotel room to steal sports memorabilia at gunpoint. In 2008, 13 years to the day after his murder acquittal, he was convicted of armed robbery and kidnapping and sentenced to 33 years in prison. He was released on parole in 2017 after serving 9 years and lived his remaining years in relative obscurity before his death in 2024. From the glare of an elevator camera to the shadows of hidden cruelty and murder plots, these are reminders that greatness can collapse in a single moment. The men we worship on Sundays can carry demons the public never sees. Their stories reveal how fragile legacy truly is, how quickly cheers can turn to silence, because sometimes the same hands that lift Lombardis are capable of far darker things. If you found this compelling, make sure to hit the subscribe button and ring the bell for more deep dives into the world of pro football. Thanks for watching.